Well, the journey has been very exciting. I've learned a lot along the way. I was a journalist, I was an anchor with Star Network. It was great to be on TV. It was great to highlight every day's story, whether it was a scam or a coronation or an election or whatever it was, the news of the day. But I felt I have to do something more with my life. It is not enough to get a decent amount of money, in fact a huge salary, and just observe what is going on in my country. I wanted to do a little bit more, to participate, to be a catalyst of some sort of a change. And I saw the first opportunity when the Anna Hazare movement happened. It was just a small little movement, nothing much was happening. I decided to really throw myself into it. At that point of time in March 2011, it was really a little baby movement. But it's only in August 2011 that it became a huge big movement. What I thought Arvind Kejriwal and his team were, they turned out to be very, very different. And it was a way to fight corruption, the whole Anna Hazare movement. We thought Arvind was interested in taking this fight further. But Arvind clearly was not. The idea was for him to usurp power, have nepotism, indulge in the same practices of corruption. It was pretty much like the George Orwellian's Animal Farm, that you set out to do something else, but once you get power, you become just like those against whom you have fought. So what he practices, he does not preach. He is not true and honest. He just used people like us. I helped with the media, Prashant Bhushan helped with the legal work, and just threw us out because he started seeing us as some sort of threats. And we would ask him tough questions, he wasn't ready to answer. He got a lot of criminal elements, corrupt elements in the party which we did not agree with. And once we spoke against it, he asked us to leave. My dignity is very important to me. I left. I didn't want, and thank God I did, because Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav were earlier thrown out. So I didn't want to be thrown out. And they were anyway spreading a lot of stories about me. They spy on each other, they create a lot of stories. Everything is about agitation, nothing is about solution. Go out there, talk about the problem. But give out a solution. What will you do better? And this is exactly what's happened. He stated what is wrong with everybody, came to power and became just like everyone else. So what was the big deal? It became a Me Too party. So why did I join the BJP? So I left the party. In fact, I was asked to leave in 2014. I waited for a long while, almost a year. And then they invited me to be a part of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. In that, they invoked Mahatma Gandhi, and I'm a big Gandhian, by the way. I believe in non-violence, and I was very surprised to see a BJP leader, in fact a Prime Minister, use Mahatma Gandhi's name. And also Prime Minister at that point of time spoke about gender issues for the first time, right from the ramparts of Red Fort. And he says, it's time to ask the parents to ask even the sons as to where are you so late in the night, instead of asking only the girls. So these things impressed me. And I realized that, either I be part of media and be in a surreptitious way be connected with politics, because every media house has some connection with one party or the other, or I go out there and work. And I like Prime Minister Modi after a whole year, and I saw what he was doing. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was one of them, and his invocation of Mahatma Gandhi, but also that he promised a clean government, which is why even now you see in the central government there is not a single scam that has come forth. So that was my reason. And also I'm sick and tired of Congress always using minorities as vote banks and using appeasement politics. I think there has to be a party which is talking about sabka saath, inclusion, and better economy and better economic opportunities, education and employment for minorities, than just use them as vote banks. So I'm pretty disgusted with the Congress party, have been. So if I had to be in politics, it could only be with the BJP. And I chose that option. A lot of people would say, get out. I could have gone back to media, earned more money. BJP doesn't pay me a single rupee, you can check. But I feel there have to be people, and they can be in any party, but they must bring about transformation all over and even within the party. That's important, and I want to do both. It's an abysmally low figure. There have to be many more women in the parliament. And the fact that most people don't think women as winnable is a sad state, not just on the political parties, but also on the voters. And even the women who make it to higher positions happen to be daughters, daughters-in-law, wives and widows of important politicians. I think women from the grassroots, like I don't have a godfather, I have nobody, I don't have a dad or a mom. I've just done it all on my own. And there are very few such people, because you always need a backing, because that's how it is. And that must change. We must all fight for that. And not only in the parties, but even amongst people, to promote such women, so that women, and we must help women across all the parties who are there because of their merit, of their talent, and their leadership qualities, instead of just having the last surname. Well, it was not so great at that point of time, nor is it wonderful now. I think most media houses, speak either for one party or the other. I find very few neutral channels, But I feel it's very unfair to blame just either the Republic or Times Now taking the line of BJP. Whenever BJP has gone wrong, if I remember this whole Shaktiman, the horse case in Uttarakhand, or the Lalit Modi or Vasundhara Raje scam that happened, the corruption that was talked about during Lalit Modi and IPL time, as well as what happened during Vyapam. I think both these channels, Republic was not there then, but the person in Republic was there in Times Now. He took a very hard and tough stand. I'm sure if somebody in the center would do something wrong, they would speak out. But there are other channels like NDTV and many others. There are many journalists and who claim to be independent journalists. And I'll give you a list. I'm not just talking about Rajiv Sardesai, Barkha and Nidhi Razdan, but a whole lot of them who come as individual correspondents or neutral independent observers of politics. For instance, Vinod Sharma, Kumar Ketkar, Aarti Jairat, Ajoy Bose, Hartosh Bal, Siddharth Vardarajan, Sabha Naqvi. The list goes on and on. They come on the channels, pretend to be independent voices of wisdom and neutrality, but they are like Congress pracharaks. That is equally wrong, and nobody calls them out. And somebody must, which is why I'm doing this on your show. I think every student must be an undercover activist of sorts, not maybe a politician. An activist is, who's an activist? Who's not happy with status quo? Who wants a betterment? We all have a responsibility, not just to our own family, to ourselves, but to a society. We are in privileged places like IIT, and imagine how important it is in the contribution. And technology, we know, is a great leveler. Let technology provide answers, as it has earlier, to really fight, eradicate poverty, to look at transparency, eradicate corruption, to look at better delivery mechanisms, to make life easier for the marginalized sections. So I think instead of getting into direct politics, and there is nothing wrong in being in politics, but please be agents of social change and political transformation. That is the duty, I think, of every student, especially of IIT, because there's so much of potential and capability that you all have.